Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new video. So we're going to be continuing the detail on my STI. So far, I've only done the hood. Tonight, I'm going to be focusing on the front clip. So the passenger and driver fenders. I'm going to focus on the bumper as well. Then we'll see how far I get. I'll probably end up doing the mirrors. The roof is vinyl wrapped, so I don't know if I'm going to polish that out. It's fairly new. I did that last March, but it's been protected and everything, and there's no scratches on it. So it looks really good. So I don't think I'm gonna polish that out. I will ceramic coat it though, just to keep everything even and protected. But I don't think I'm gonna polish it out. I don't think it really needs to. Plus vinyl can get a little tricky. I have seen people polish vinyl before and it comes out really nice. But like I said, I have a really high quality vinyl on the car. So I really don't think I'm going to have to polish it out. So like I said, I'm gonna be focusing on the front clip. I'll probably end up doing the mirrors. And then maybe I'll start on one of the sides and see how far I get. But again, I wanna take this day by day. I'm not gonna go crazy with it. I'm not gonna try to get everything done at once. I really wanna focus on each panel and get it almost 100%, at least 95. I really wanna take my time and make sure I'm doing this right before I ceramic coat it. So let's get started. I'm gonna be doing the same process. I'm gonna be using the white pad with the Sonex Perfect Finish. I'll probably focus a little bit more of my time on this area. If you guys don't know, I actually got bumped into in my parking lot at work 2 years ago. So this has a little bit of a paint work. It was not much at all, but it's a little bit, the clear coat is a little bit more hazy. It's not as clear as the rest of the car. So I'm gonna be focusing on that. I mean, it still looks really good. You would never be able to tell. It was just a little dent around here, and they kind of had to blend some of the paint and everything, but it still looks really good. But I wanna focus on it, make sure you can kind of see the little bit of the hazing right here. The cloudy is not as deep and clear as the rest of the car, and it's been bothering me. So I'm really happy I'm doing this so I can really focus on that. But otherwise, the rest of the car is looking really good. Otherwise, there's no really major scratches or anything else on the car. Like I said, the hood was probably the most, I won't say scratched up, but it needed the most work in terms of polishing things out, and it came out really, really nice. I'm really happy with the result of that. The fenders on top here, there is a little bit of, swirling just from washes over the years. I'm going to focus mainly on the top part of the fender here. The side's okay. I'll probably do the same 3 to 4 passes on each, with applying pressure, making sure it heats up and it gets a good cut, but not too deep. I don't want to go too crazy. So let's get started on this side, see how it comes out, and then we'll move over to the other side, and then we'll kind of work on the front bumper. The front bumper is literally brand new, so it's pretty much perfect. Really don't think I'm gonna have to be doing too much correction on here. Plus the 6-inch pad that I have, it's gonna be kind of hard to get into all the cracks and smaller areas. I have been thinking about getting a smaller polisher, with like a 3-inch back plate so I can get into tighter spots like around here. But honestly, the bumper is in such great shape that I don't think I'm gonna have to do much. I'll probably just kind of work my way around here and see how much I can get. But otherwise, I'm not gonna go too crazy just because the bumper is in really, really good shape. So let's get started on the fender, see where that goes and how it comes out, and then we'll kind of move along and see how motivated I am tonight and how much I'll get done. But yeah, let's start with the fender. All right, so I did a couple passes on the fender. Let's take a light to it so you guys can see. Absolutely perfect. I don't think I see any scratches anywhere. It's amazing how much pearl is actually in this paint. It's pretty awesome to see it all. Kind of hard to get this angle. But yeah, looking good. The fender corrected really easily. I didn't have to do too much or too many passes or anything. The fenders are kind of tough just because of all the angles. The biggest surface area on the fender is the side, so it's much easier to correct there. But once you get here, there's kind of a divot there, and there's not much room here. It's kind of bowed and angled there, so you have to be really careful. You don't want to you don't want to sit on an edge too much. You can cut more deep on the edge there. So you kind of want to stay off of the edge and kind of work on the flat panel. And you can go over it, but you don't want to sit on it. So if you're sitting here, you don't want to sit on this edge just because it will cut much quicker because it's, closer to the pad than the actual, the panel that you're working on. So that is the only thing to look out for, but otherwise really happy with how that turned out. Up here looks really good, a lot of dusting, but yeah, looks good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump over to the other side, get that knocked out. Probably just do some parts of the bumper that I feel may need it. I don't think, like I said, I don't think it really needs too much. So I'm gonna go around with the light, see how it looks. I'll probably do up here just because that, kind of takes a beating up by the hood. But otherwise, I don't think I'm gonna have to do too much. So I'm feeling motivated, so I'll definitely knock out the mirrors and then I'll kind of start working on this side. So I can at least get an entire side of the car done. So all I gotta do is jump to the other side and then I can focus on the back. Like I said, I don't think I'm gonna do the roof. It doesn't need it, at least I don't think. It's vinyl, it's fairly new. So it's looking really good. I don't think I have to polish it out. But yeah, so let's get cracking on the other fender and then we'll move over to the front bumper and then we'll go over to the side. So if you guys notice, I switched over to the yellow pad. I was actually, since the back section here needed a little bit more work, I wanted to use a little bit more aggressive pad. This is still a fine pad. The white is ultra fine. So it's nothing crazy aggressive, but I still wanted something that was going to do a little bit more work instead of spending more time, doing multiple passes when I could just go to a more aggressive pad, use the same polish, and do less passes. So it's less work and I'm getting a good result. So I'm actually think I'm going to stick to the yellow pad for the rest of the car, simply because I'm having to do less passes and I'm finding it's just cleaning up and correcting much quicker. So it's just doing basically less work, with a similar result. So I did the back section over here. Turned out really, really nice. I got as much as the orange peel and hazing that I was able to get off. It turned out really, really nice. I'll get you a little bit of a close-up so I can show you comparison between the door and over here, just the clarity of it. I don't know if you can really tell right now, but definitely is way deeper, way more crisper, and it just looks way better. So I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna do the whole driver's side. I've already done the whole front clip, the passenger mirror over there, and I've done this whole back side here. So I'm basically going to finish up the passenger side with these two doors and the side skirt right down here, and then I'm gonna call a night, and then I'll finish the trunk and the wing and everything tomorrow night and the other side. But overall, it's coming out really nice. I'm happy I switched over to yellow pad, just cutting way quicker, and it's doing a better job. All right, so this is the backside that I did. You can kind of see me, hello. You can see how deep and clear it is. Looks really good. And if we move over to the door, see it looks a little hazy and cloudy compared to the other the other side. So if we go back over, way more clear. You can see a lot more reflection, way deeper. Just some leftover polish right there. I got to open up the gas cap, but it's looking really, really good. That's a good comparison. See how clear it is here, and then we move over here. It's pretty hazy, so that'll definitely buff out. It's going to look exactly like this. So I'm looking forward to finally doing this. I've been wanting to get this side done specifically since I got in that little fender bender in the parking lot, which I wasn't even in the car, by the way. It was parked. It was a really upsetting day, but hey, it turned out really great. Can't even tell it's there. And now that I'm polishing it out, it looks absolutely perfect. So I'm gonna start knocking out this door, matching up the clarity, and then we'll continue over here. So yeah, let's get it done. Clarity shots. You can take a look here. Really, really nice. So much pearl, it's crazy. No scratching. So we'll go over to the doors that I just did. This is the rear passenger door. Absolutely beautiful. No swirls, no scratches. Perfect. The rear is a little bit more difficult just because you got all these angles and bumps and everything. But if you take each angle as like a section, and you'll be able to do your job well. But it came out really, really nice. The driver's door. Really, really nice. So super pleased with how everything's coming out, as I mentioned. That's crazy how much pearl is in this paint. Look at that. So cool. All right, guys, so I'm wrapping it up for the night. So I got the entire passenger side done. The whole front clip, which is the hood, the bumper, the driver's side fender. I got the whole pillar here, rear quarter panel, rear passenger door, front passenger door, side skirts, mirror. Basically, the only thing that I have left is the whole entire back section. So the trunk, the actual spoiler, and on the back side of the bumper, driver's side rear fender, driver's side rear door, and driver door, and also the mirror as well. But everything is coming out absolutely beautifully. I've never seen it this deep. I've never spent this much time correcting each panel. Because like I said, usually I'm rushing to get it done in a weekend, but now I'm taking the time. I'm making sure every scratch that I see, I'm working on it. I'm not just kind of saying, oh, you know, okay, that looks all right. Move on to the next thing. You know, I'm really focusing on each scratch, any swirl, any hazing or anything like that, and really trying my best to, you know, really do a good job and correct it. So the paint is in really good condition prior to the coating, because basically once you put the coating on, you're kind of stuck with whatever, you know, the paint looks like, because you're basically putting a thin layer of glass on it, and it takes a lot to actually break that down and kind of start over. So I really want to make sure I'm doing a good job. But otherwise, it's turning out awesome. Finding myself not getting as fatigued because, you know, like I said, usually I'm trying to get so much done that I'm kind of just not caring as much. But I'm really enjoying it way more than I ever have just because of that reason alone. You know, just being able to really take my time, do each panel and do a good job. So it's kind of hard to see on camera, you know, just how great it's coming out. The car really does look clean on camera all the time, usually. So it's kind of hard to really show you the difference. There wasn't really good 50-50s. The best one that I was able to show you was between the two doors here, just from the difference of the hazing there compared to the passenger front door here. But otherwise, everything is just, you know, coming out super easily. I'm really happy that I jumped to the yellow pad. It's going much quicker. I'm not having to put as much pressure and do as many passes. I'm doing about 3, sometimes 5 passes. And sometimes if there's a deeper scratch or another swirl, then I'm not, you know, it's not coming out. I'll just go over it again and, you know, 2 or 3 passes and it's gone. So Really liking the process. The method that I'm using is working perfectly. And it's just, I'm loving how this is coming out. So stay tuned for part 3 when I'm going to be doing the driver's side and the rear. I don't know how much I'm going to get done in that next video. I don't know if I'm just going to focus on the rear or focus on the whole driver's side. Not sure yet. We'll see where it takes me. But like I said, this is going to be a multiple part video series. I've already did part 1 where I was just doing the hood. So stay tuned for the next parts. I got some new wheels coming in this coming week, as I mentioned in my last video. So I'll get to them eventually. I'm going to ceramic coat them when I'm ceramic coating the car so I can do it all in one shot. So stay tuned for that. If you guys are interested in any of the products or any of the methods, be sure to ask below. Every single product that I'm using, including the polisher, the pads, and everything, they're all in the links below. If you don't see it, just click on the Obsessed Garage link because that's where I get a lot of the pads and the actual, polishes and everything. But otherwise, you can get the machine and the actual polisher from Amazon, which is where I got it. It's relatively cheap. It's under $200 as opposed to something really expensive like a Rupes, which is close to $500. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, be sure to ask them below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you